welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. I'm excited today as we talk about flexibility, the secret to deeper family connections. We all know that being flexible isn't always the easiest thing for everyone. However, I just noticed I forgot to mute this phone. I'm Christine Bernard, stress management coach, and flexibility definitely wasn't my middle name a few years ago. However, I have learned through life and experiences that flexibility is very important in our relationships and in our just being our best selves as well. So, what is it that we can talk about? And let me see here. Oh, yes. Being flexible doesn't just ease stress, it builds bridges. What does that mean? How can you be building bridges if you are being flexible? How can you be easing stress if you are flexible? Well, sometimes we have like one thought, it's the only thought, it's the only way that we can do things. We only accept one outcome. However, is that causing you stress? Are you being flexible? How can you be flexible and still be in a win-win situation? I was talking with someone earlier, and there's all this chaos everywhere we turn, whether it's whatever aspect of our lives, whether it's on the news or in our families, in our communities. And, there always has been some. Sometimes it feels stronger than other times. And whether it is or not, the most important, in my opinion, is that we stay really grounded in who we are and what it is that we want to do so that we can bring forward our best version of ourselves. I want to welcome Christian Mendez. How are you, Christian? We can't see you. Can you hear me? Oh, sometimes technical issues do happen. Oops.
I can. Can you hear
There
me?
you are. Excellent. Excellent. So, yes,
I caught the
flexibility
whole.
today, talking about flexibility and how flexibility can support us to ease stress. So, I'd like you to share how
You
you've
know, I think,
experienced.
yeah, I want to jump in because you said something about grounding, something about, I so we've been doing a lot of tapping, we've been doing a lot of breathing, and welcome each and every one of you. Thank you. I appreciate, and just invite everybody just to snap
Mhm.
and just tap. And all of those worries and concerns and they're not going to go away, but you can put them in the balloon, you can put them on the train, you can put them to melt, you can put them in the explosive, in the explosive device, TNT, Wile E. Coyote, in the cruncher, in the um, in the pit of the ocean with your favorite
If
mermaid
I
or
may,
submarine.
once I had a little girl say, I'm going to put it in Thomas the Train. He'll take care
Yeah,
of it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
cute.
And see that nostalgia, that is inside. That is what we're talking about when Christine mentions grounding, is is really getting back to the core you. And we know that you are love. We know that we if we are aligned more with our hearts, with ourselves,
Yes.
then we can begin to not only be more present, but to live through love, even in difficult situations, chaotic situations, stressful situations, even difficult and dangerous situations.
Mhm.
And it really is like anybody that's ever read a movie, read a movie, watched a book,
Yep.
listen to TV, or heard something on the screen, right? There's so many of these ways, and I think that I'm mixing up, but I'm not, the words and the things, because I want to say we must understand that change is happening. Change happens all the time.
It does. It does. And
We
and
are
how we
in
deal
a
sorry, I'm just gonna
yeah,
cut in, and how we deal with it is what will make us suffer or thrive in it.
let's pause that. The ABCs to breathing, the ABCs to life will allow us to be able to make a choice on
Yes.
what the ongoing means to me and how the ongoing or the happening is here to teach me and here to have me experience something, not good, not bad. And I was sharing with Christine briefly. Love these shows. It's a show. Hopefully, we don't get in trouble, but we're not associated or anything along with. But um, my kiddos love Bluey, an Australian animated series. And one of the last episodes that I was able to sit down and watch and enjoy from a parent perspective was We'll See. It was an episode about We'll See. And so it starts with the story, and it's a story being told. I'll won't spoil it, but I want to just give you the idea of it is that
Mm.
no matter what happens
We'll
in
see.
life, it can be interpreted as a good or as a bad. But at the end, we'll see because we get to have the definition or the reaction. And it was very simple with one example. I found a coin. Well, that's yay, good luck. So they take it to the later on they take it to the show. They take it to this binocular station and they put it in. Well, the good luck was they found the coin, but now they needed it. They could put it in. Now it got stuck, and now
Mhm.
you say, "Oh, well, what bad luck?" Well, we'll see. One big thing is maybe they just were able to get up there to look at and look out to. They left the coin, and then of course, as these shows are, another couple comes in and they find the coin and they do push it in, and then they're able to and see the binoculars and see through those binoculars. But at that exact moment where they don't have any coins and they happen to be house shopping and they happen to be house shopping and they see another house with a pool, and that's what they say. I found a house and look, it's for sale with a pool. Well, they retracted the offer on the other one, and I have to share this because they were going to buy the Bluey house. And
Mm.
so the fact that they left that coin, you say, was it good luck or bad luck?
Mm.
Well, it was good luck because the people that had just arrived in town that had purchased or were going to purchase the Bluey house
Mhm.
were able to now utilize these binoculars, high powered binoculars with a coin that was already is there to just to be pushed in, and they found it, which retracted the offer for the Bluey house, so they got to keep their house. And so this may be silly to some, this may seem, and I invite you to just reacting to what happens is definitely a learned behavior. And
Yes, a learned behavior, which we now have a choice to shift that. And I have a story similar to yours that is told. It's this gentleman that had a horse, and his son was on the horse. His adult son was on the horse, and he fell off. And the neighbors are, "Oh, poor you, so unlucky. He broke his leg, and he
that,
can't help you out on the farm." And on it goes. And then a couple weeks later, the army comes by and is drafting people.
that's the
Well,
one. That's the story.
his son, oh, you know this one too, yeah.
No,
His,
that's the one. That's the one that they start out saying.
oh, really?
That's
Oh, and then so his son didn't get drafted,
so he
and
says,
every
"We'll see."
time the
So
gentleman, yeah,
when the horse when the son fell off the horse, the dad
yeah,
said, "We'll
we'll
see."
see,
Say, "Well, that's unlucky. We'll see."
see.
And then the army draft came, and he said, "Well, now isn't that so fortunate that your son didn't get drafted?" And he said, "We'll see." Continue.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we are raised, well, I was raised in an environment with lots of expectations, and they were not necessarily said, "Christine, you have to," but it was in what's the word I'm looking for? Implied. It was implied, right? And it was the way um, my dad lived his life, and my mom had gone to school for, um, how to be a good wife. Yeah, you want to go ahead.
I want to jump because you said they were just demonstrated what had worked for them.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. And having gone, the way they were raised and the expectations that were put on them, well, they just put them on us. And it's not that they would get up in the morning and say, "How can I make Christine miserable today?" There was definitely not their intention. However, when we as a parent are in moments of stress, the best thing that I personally know how to do is to stop, snap, tap, and zap. Because the last thing you want is to dump that out on your children,
Or your
right?
partner or
Or your
yourself.
partner, or
and and
yes,
and
even
and and
yourself.
I want to go back to that, and I want to reflect that as you keep tapping in as we're doing this,
Yep.
because I want people to remember, what does stress look like, and what does your brain being hijacked by stress look like? It's doing your job. Wait a minute, am I not
Mhm.
supposed to do my job? No, I didn't say that. It's how we react and how our brain goes, "Hey, I got this email. I got to
Yeah.
clock. Okay, I'm on my way to work. I'm going to clock in, and then I'm going to email, and then this, and then oh, I got to get that report." And so please understand, we're not saying not to. We're sharing another way, a better way for you to self-regulate and understand that stress may not seem like a harsh condition or a bad news or any type of thing. It is your day to day. That is the trick. That is the fine tuning moments, is that when we're doing our day to day, when
Mhm.
we're doing our chores, when we're doing our jobs, when we're working out, when we're studying, where you say these are not bad things. Once again, no. I'm not putting a label.
No.
It is for you. And those labels, actually not for you to put a label on it, but for you to rip off those old labels that you have
Mm,
been and that we have been raised to. Just
mm,
it's an automatic. You should this. Well, Wait, I don't wait, what do you mean you should? I don't know. I don't know that way. So we just talked about our parents taught us as best as they could with the success or the failures that they thought,
Mhm.
or with whatever worked in or for them. They
Yeah.
didn't, if they didn't seek out additional support and help, is because and I go back to the self, is because maybe they didn't think that they were doing things incorrectly, and that's okay. But now we can't change that. We can't go back. There's no time machine that's been built. Several people have already said, hey, if you ever built a time machine, I'm gonna come back to this exact moment. So no time machine yet. Okay. But what we can understand is that we can break those old patterns. So you kind of do have a secret time machine, because you can go back to that place and say, hey, I needed a hug. And this is where that self regulation comes in, and that self love. And
Yeah.
that I said is to talk to yourselves, because how you speak to yourself, how you talk to yourself. And a lot of people have been saying, if I were to talk to somebody else like that, I don't think that they would be my friends or associates or whatever it is for too
Mhm.
long, because it's not nice. So I encourage you to say, congratulations,
Yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah.
pat in the
So
back.
there's the way we talk, the intonation, the words we use, the intonation, our body language, the habits we've been raised in, and how we use our eyes when we look at people, right? That facial expression. I mean, exactly. And because you were saying, what does it look like? Well, there's a lot of things. And some some of us tune in and see the micro expressions on the face and the body, what's going on, and we can um, see where that person is going and feeling and sensing. Go
We
ahead.
assume, we assume. And
Yes.
if we don't pay attention to the full picture, and this is the
Yeah.
same thing with ourselves,
Yeah.
because my new phrase is fix your face. My kiddos, my wife say fix your face, because yes, Christine says something and I'm going, but that's not what I'm thinking anymore.
And what if instead of fixing the face, become aware of your face, right? Because it's not that there's anything really wrong with our face, it's just a suggestion. You might want to try it, you might not. Maybe you do prefer fix your face and go with it, and that's perfect. And what if you just feel like saying, um, facial. And I know when I started doing lives, I would look at my face because I have so many micro expressions. You can tell when I'm a little bit annoyed. You can tell when and it happens. And sometimes not really, there's just that flash of a second, right? And then the face comes back.
Hmm.
But
Hmm. Hmm.
it's awareness. You become conscious sometimes by looking at yourself in the mirror first so that you can when you're with people show your face. But some of us are super transparent, and I mean, you can't don't ask me to lie. I cannot lie. You'll know right away. It's crazy. While other people can lie, and it's easy and you can't tell if they're lying or not. And they need to learn, and they will learn, and we can support them if we have children on their journey that are like that, to support them on their journey. And
See, we went into and we jumped into they
yeah.
need to learn, and here's one thing we're going to share together is we hope that they learn that by lying without we have learned
Mm,
that the better sorry the more that we practice again being aware, the
yeah.
better that we will get. The more that we practice about suppressing our emotions, the better we're.
Mm,
Some of you got a couple of years out there and suppressing and into stifling, and I know this is Christine's feeling it, because I'm feeling it too. And so you've repeated and you've
Mhm.
practiced and and you were raised this way. So remember, we've talked about this before. 50% of what you're going to learn in your full life is in the first 5 years. So the first 5 years you've been trained to and taught
Mhm.
to certain way, and then you practice that and practice that. And so now becoming aware, allow yourself to say, that's okay.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to say, hey, that is no longer who I am, and I choose to operate differently
Yes.
than what I used to. But, and if you're not there yet, that's okay. It truly is,
Yeah.
wherever you're at.
Give
But there's
yourself
no
grace.
need. Yes. The,
Give
the,
yourself.
the, the need and is the inclination is, and if we use, well, she's the expert in all this in this field, but if she uses certain words, we are mindful about the words that we say. But I am mindful about the words that I say also, because I want to make sure that there's no false expectations or hopes or anything, because
Mm.
there is no magic 30-second. And the ABCs are just exactly that. It is a cornerstone. It is a 3 steps into climbing a mountain that stretches over whatever distance that you want to say. So I want to bring myself back. I want to self regulate. I want to align. And I want to finish my thought process with, it's okay wherever you're at, and
Yeah.
you don't need to do anything outside of what makes you comfortable. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to hold yourself accountable. And it's okay to step away and say, I need a few minutes to myself. For
Yeah.
what? For me.
Yes.
Because that is going to be able to allow you to then respond to your little one.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can. Let me join you in that snack. Let me join you in the coloring. Let me join you in the jumping up and down because they're so enthusiastic. Let me join my partner in maybe a sentimental moment rather than
Mhm.
scolding them, rather than telling them not to think that way, or why are you thinking that way, or making them feel bad about their situation or what they're expressing, or maybe the fact that they're silent and they're not expressing because you yourself aren't expressing and you yourself haven't gotten enough to be able to voice yourself. Don't stifle.
When you're pointing, there's three fingers pointing at you. So, what are those three things within you that you need to shift in order for this one thing to shift? Could be another way of looking at it. Sometimes we don't like to hear this. The first time somebody said that to me, I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no way. It's not me. It's so much easier to blame others
Hmm.
than it
Hmm.
is to take responsibility for how things are making us feel right.
Or just to blame, or just to blame. Listen, that's one thing. Automatic trigger. Not my fault. Not my fault. I didn't do it. Wait, wait,
Mhm.
wait. Why do we have to find? And that's why I jumped in, because that's one thing that I didn't do. Wait a minute. We
Mhm.
don't need to we don't need to fault or blame anyone. I'm
No.
not. I Again, because when enters the room, dad's upset and he wants to find out who did it. Oh,
Mhm.
no, see, now, and dad has been making sure that the kids are okay. And then I get up too and figure out, well, you guys are all okay? Okay. And so then what happened? Oh, well, this and that, or someone or such. Let's not blame. Let's not blame. Let's just go into what happened, and
Yeah.
then how can we be mindful if there was something that spilled, or something that was damaged, or if there was the kiddos saying something mean to each other that
I
caused something.
I have I have an amazing sentence to use when it's between the children. You can use it with your spouse as well. I didn't like it when you blah 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 because it made me feel. Mm. I was out on the schoolyard one day and two boys were fighting, and I just said, okay, let's take a deep breath here. And I said, who wants to start? This is what you say, and you fill in the blanks. Well, I don't know, I think he was in grade 4, the little guy. And he says, I didn't like it when in kindergarten you did this. It made me, and the other kid's like, what? Kindergarten? We were fighting over a ball here. What's this kindergarten? And the kid was just like, whoa. So that other little kid had kept that inside of him since kindergarten. And it came out, and the other guy's like, oh, well, I'm really sorry, I didn't like it when you did this. And then and on their own, they resolved it. I didn't have to take sides. I didn't have to decide on a punishment. I didn't have to do anything. They figured out where the core issue was. Sometimes there's other situations where it'll go back and forth. I didn't like it when you did this because this. Well, I didn't like it when you did this. I didn't like it because it made me feel, because it might bounce back and forth. And as the adult, we just hold the space and allow each person to say what it is that they feel. And we have to make
Mhm.
sure, how did that make you feel? And sometimes we have to count to 10 in our head for the answer to come out. And then the other one goes, and make sure that they respect it's your turn. Oh, let's just wait and finish till the other person is done. And I have found that, anyway, being on duty in a schoolyard, super effective and to the point, and you're not wasting time trying to figure out what could work for these two kids that they
Mhm.
would
Mhm.
learn from their lesson.
Mhm.
You've got all that stuff gone because they will tell you, and then they connect to their feelings. And when they connect to their feelings, they're out of their head and they're at the core of. And sometimes I might say, oh, I feel sad because someone else did that and I just dumped it on you. And
Mhm.
kids are
That's
so
it.
honest and
That's it
truthful.
right there. That's it right
Yeah.
there. Because what we are stressed about, what we're stressors, whatever is causing us to feel in that way, remember,
Yeah.
this is one of the sad things that I realized and that I was confronted with, which is we hurt the ones that we love the most
Yeah.
because
Unfortunately.
we feel so comfortable
Mm-hmm.
to on them. So then we aren't as mindful. But again, thanks to the ABCs, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off here
Yeah.
and say this is a very important um, point that we want to share,
Yeah.
which is pour into you, take the time for you,
Yes.
love you,
Yes.
speak to you in a positive way as
Yes.
you want to be spoken to,
Yes.
because that you practice, what you practice is what you will become better at. And
Yes.
the excuses or the reasons, I promise you, I know you have them, but they
Mm-hmm.
are no longer serving you. And it's time for you to, in order to pick up a new ball to play with, you must set the other one down. In order
Yes.
for you to get something and to learn something new or replace something, it's a
Mm.
replacement. We're not asking you to stop something because we know how the human mind and the brain and the body works. The
Yes.
way that we shift that is by replacing it as a positive.
Yes. And our brain needs dopamine. So these little
Absolutely.
baby steps we take brings dopamine to the brain and makes us want to move forward, take the next sentence, step up the mountain, as you said. And when you've made it up one mountain, you can come down and you can go up another one if you want. But it does not have to be an emotional mountain. It can just be the challenges of being grounded and centered, right? So take
And
care,
what do those
everyone.
mean?
Pardon me?
We'll see. And then
We'll
we'll see.
see. We'll see where the ripple effect of love goes. And if you want a 20-minute free call with me just to see if this is the right kind of program for you, connect with me. My QR code is up on the top corner. Have a great day and take great care of yourselves. Give yourself some love today. Or how? Let me reframe that. What is one thing that you can do to show yourself love, yourself some love